News 4 Today starts now.
Attacks across Iran. Iranian state media confirming that the country's supreme leader was killed yesterday when the U.S. and Israel launched an assault on that country.
Those strikes still ongoing. An explosion rocked Iran's capital this morning. The Israeli military said it targeted the heart of the city. The attack sending shockwaves across the Middle East and around the world. Yeah, it's been a busy 24 hours here. And on this Sunday morning at 9 o'clock, I want to welcome you into this edition of News 4 Today. Thanks for being with us. I'm Adam Tuss. And I'm Juliana Valencia. It is Sunday, March 1st, and those stunning and surprising strikes, U.S. jets and Tomahawks targeting Iran as part of a joint U.S. and Israeli operation. Yeah, still going on. We're getting images like this for sure. NBC's Julie Sirkin joining us live from West Palm Beach, Florida, where the president has been watching all of this unfold. Julie, what are we hearing from President Trump?
Well, President Trump this morning is at Mar-a-Lago, where he was all weekend. We haven't seen the president in person or on camera since he posted that pre-recorded video message to his Truth Social in the early morning hours of Saturday announcing these unprecedented strikes. Last night, he did post on Truth Social after the Iranian government had warned of further retaliatory action. He said on Truth Social, they better not do that. However, if they do, we will hit them with a force, the president says, that has never been seen before. This, of course, comes as the Iranian government, whatever is left of it, is continuing to say that they will hit Israeli targets, they will hit American bases in the region like they've never seen before. But of course, this also comes after the president announced the death of the Iranian supreme leader. There are so many questions in terms of where this goes next. Republicans and Democrats that I've spoken to say this is going to be a big focus on Capitol Hill this week when they try to hold votes to restrain the president's further actions in Iran and in other places around the world. This also comes as members want to hear from the president and his administration why they had to take this action right now as they were in the middle of potential peace negotiations with Iran over their nuclear program. Senior administration officials telling reporters yesterday, guys, that they thought that was not possible at this point. That's why they launched these strikes. Of course, many questions remain, including for the president, of members of his own party who are asking him how this is America first, a president who has campaigned on no new wars and no boots on the ground overseas. Of course, now with this major operation that the president says is massive and ongoing, guys.
All right, Julie Sirkin live from Florida. Thank you.
Thank you, Julie. Meantime, the United Nations Security Council held an emergency meeting in New York City yesterday. Iran's ambassador blasting the attacks, calling them unprovoked. And he also criticized the UN for not heeding Tehran's recent warnings regarding what it called warmongering statements by the U.S.
Israel and the United States have attacked Iran. They have violated international law and the Charter of the United Nations. They must be held accountable.
Now, many of the countries at the UN condemned these strikes and called for a return to negotiations.
Well, there is bipartisan criticism of President Trump for bypassing Congress and attacking Iran. White House Press Secretary Karen Leavitt said that the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, had spoken with 7 of the 8 top leaders in the House and Senate. One of them is Virginia Senator Mark Warner.
I was notified as a member of the Gang of 8 before the strike, but I am totally unsure about what our country's goal is in this potential war. A week or so ago, he talked about Iran's nuclear threat, then he's talked about ballistic missiles, and now he's talking about regime change. What is the goal that is worthy enough to potentially start another endless war in the Middle East?
Well, News 4 also spoke with Maryland Senator Angela Alsobrooks. She said the president's credibility is now at risk.
He's acted unilaterally, and in doing so, he's once again jeopardized the lives of our men and women in military, our sons and daughters, who will be at risk as a result of his actions, and we can't trust anything that he says. He lies. He lied when he told us that he wouldn't take us into wars. He lied when he said that he obliterated the nuclear program, and now here we are.
Republican Senate Majority Leader John Thune saying the Iranian regime has refused the diplomatic off-ramps that would peacefully resolve these national security concerns. I commend President Trump for taking action to thwart these threats, end quotes.
Well, this is a rapidly developing situation. We're going to continue to have coverage throughout this newscast and online at NBCWashington.com. You can also download the free NBC Washington app to get the latest developments sent right to your phone.
Yeah, a lot going on for sure. We'll continue to keep you updated. Meantime, closer to home, if you head downtown today, you're going to notice tens of thousands of small blue flags in the grass along the National Mall.
Yeah, they're there to remind people that cases of colorectal cancer among young people are rising dramatically. News 4's Jessica Albert is live along the mall, talking to volunteers who are installing these flags. And what's the scene like out there, Jessica?
Well, it's a beautiful morning out here, Juliana, and we are getting ready to watch volunteers put down, you can actually see them right now. Can you get over there, Jake? Put down 27,000 blue flags in honor of colorectal cancer and raising awareness. I have Angie Davis here. She is the CEO of Fight Colorectal Cancer, which is behind this effort. Tell us a little bit why we need to, pay attention to this really important disease.
Well, really appreciate you highlighting this, but today we're here for United in Blue. This is our 5th year in Washington, D.C., putting flags down. Each flag represents a life. So by 27,000 people, we're looking at that number and saying by 2030 we could prevent them from having colorectal cancer for those under 50. And it's so important to us because colorectal cancer is the #1 cancer killer for those under 50, and it was recently reported by the American Cancer Society. So now more than ever, we have to raise awareness about prevention of colorectal cancer.
Because it is incredibly preventable, correct?
It is. So at the age of 45, you should be talking to your doctor about getting screened.
And then it's more than just the flags that you guys are doing. You're having a rally later today. You'll be on Capitol Hill this week. Can you talk about some of the things you're doing?
So we're really raising awareness, and then we're turning that into action. So over 500 volunteers are coming out. We have over 250 survivors and families coming to meet with their members of Congress. And what we're really saying is we need to have our stories told. We need to make sure research is funded, and we need to make sure that colorectal cancer prevention is prioritized.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for being here. 5 o'clock for the rally today.
For sure.
Anybody can come?
Anybody can come, and we have this amazing tribute wall. So if you go to fightcolorectalcancer.org, you can continue to honor your loved ones if they've been impacted by colorectal cancer and tell people to get screened.
Thank you so much, Ms. Davis.
Thank you.
I'll send it back to you guys.
All right, Jessica, thank you so much, live on the National Mall. Great way to spend a Sunday morning.
Absolutely. Good cause there, Jessica, for sure. I just got my screening.
Oh, good.
Not long ago. Here to tell you it wasn't that bad.
That's good.
A lot of people say it's
Why
bad.
didn't we do a
It's not that
story
bad.
on it?
We didn't live stream it, Juliana, and that's probably for everyone's benefit. She asked it, Lauren. I didn't say it. I'm just here to say that everyone should, be
Get
safe
screened.
and be smart.
I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago, and you said the same thing, that
We
you
did.
weren't going
The
to.
doctors are very thankful that I didn't bring cameras into.
Yeah, I think everybody's very
To the
thankful.
area, yeah.
But no, I'm glad you got screened. That's a
Yeah.
good thing. Yes, that's good. And
Sun is shining behind you.
yeah. Well, I was just going to say, Tuss, we know now is over 45, so there we go.
Who didn't know that? Barely, though.
Juliana
just
and I aren't quite
just
there yet.
barely.
Yeah.
Just barely.
Hey, looking outside right now. Yes, you're right, Juliana. We got plenty of sunshine. There are some clouds in some spots, depending on where you are. We do have a frontal system pushing through the area right now. You've probably noticed if you're going outside, the winds will pick up a little bit. North winds at about 10 to 20. Definitely not going to be as warm as yesterday. Yesterday, we were in the 60s. Today, stuck in the 40s all throughout the day today. In fact, 48 degrees. That's pretty much where we're going to stop. We may get into the lower 50s in some areas, especially south and east of D.C., but for the most part, temperatures are going to be in the 40s. And you can see that wind kicking up right now north at about 16 miles an hour. It's going to be anywhere between 10 and 20 throughout the day. So a few clouds south and east of Maryland, a few more clouds moving into the Shenandoah Valley in between. We've got some sunshine out there. Temperatures, and again, about 48 degrees, maybe a few sprinkles as well. It's going to be breezy. It's going to be cool out there today. And again, much cooler than yesterday. And then tomorrow, you ready for winter? We're not getting out of the 30s tomorrow. But I do have some good news on that 10-day forecast. A lot of good news. A lot of good days coming up. We'll show you when in a little bit.
News for Today starts now.
Attacks across Iran. Iranian state media confirming that the country's supreme leader was killed yesterday when the U.S. and Israel launched an assault on that country.
Those strikes are still ongoing. An explosion rocked Iran's capital this morning. The Israeli military said it targeted the heart of the city, and the attacks, they are sending shockwaves across the Middle East and around the world.
Yeah, it's been a busy couple of days, and we've got you fully covered. We're going across the sea right now to get the latest from there. But first, thank you so much for being here with us. I'm Adam Tuss.
And I'm Juliana Valencia. It is Sunday, March 1st, and those stunning and surprising strikes, U.S. jets and Tomahawks targeting Iran as part of a joint U.S. and Israeli operation.
That's right. NBC's Matt Bradley joining us now live from Israel with the latest as Iran is now starting to retaliate across that region. Matt, you are on the ground. What are we seeing?
Yeah, what we're seeing right here is, as you can see behind me, a lot of destruction. Already earth movers are here. This place is swarming with rescue workers. One of the issues here is that as of a couple of hours ago, at least, they were still searching for the body or a living person inside all these remains. Now what we have here is 9 people dead so far, about 29 injured. All of those numbers are probably going to be going up as these rescue workers find more casualties. What happened here that's really disturbing to a lot of Israelis is that these people, most of them, according to reports, were inside one of these mamads or safe rooms that normally are real lifesavers here. A lot of Israelis, almost everybody, rushes to these shelters whenever there's been these air raid sirens. And today, there were air raid sirens relentlessly all day long, all across the country, particularly in the Tel Aviv area. This place, Beit Shemesh, is an ultra-Orthodox town about 19 miles west of Jerusalem, so we're between Jerusalem and Tel Aviv. This is a tight-knit, very religious community that has been struck here. And again, this is by far the largest numbers of casualties that we've seen in a single incident since these attacks began yesterday morning when Israel fired those preemptive strikes against Iran alongside the United States. Now, it doesn't look as though these attacks are going to be letting up anytime soon, if today is any indication. So we could see more incidents like this one. Guys?
Wow. Well, thank you so much for bringing us so close to the action there. Matt Bradley, live from Israel.
Yeah, obviously a lot of fast-moving developments for sure. Meantime, the United Nations Security Council held an emergency meeting in New York City yesterday. Iran's ambassador blasting these attacks, calling them unprovoked, and also criticizing the UN for not heeding what he called warmongering statements by the U.S.
Israel and the United States have attacked Iran. They have violated international law and the Charter of the United Nations. They must be held accountable.
Now, many of the countries at the UN condemning the strikes and calling for a return to negotiations.
Well, this is a rapidly developing situation, and we're going to continue to have coverage throughout this newscast and online at NBCWashington.com. You can also download the free NBC Washington app to get the latest developments sent right to your phone.
Yeah, a lot going on. Meantime, closer to home, if you're going to head downtown today, you'll notice tens of thousands of small blue flags on the grass on the National Mall.
They're there to remind people that cases of colorectal cancer among young people are rising dramatically. News 4's Jessica Albert is live along the mall talking to volunteers who are installing the flags. Jessica, how have things progressed since the last hour?
Well, you see these volunteers do not play around. They have thousands of blue flags out here already. You can see hundreds of volunteers are working to put up those 27,000 blue flags on the National Mall this morning. The flags represent the number of young lives projected to be impacted by colorectal cancer. This event is called United in Blue, an annual event that raises awareness for colorectal cancer, which is now the leading cause of cancer deaths for adults in the U.S. under age 50. This is new this year. It surpasses breast cancer now. An organization called Fight Colorectal Cancer has been placing these flags on the mall for the last 5 years, trying to generate awareness for this disease because it is preventable. We talked with the CEO a little earlier this morning. Here's what she had to say about all this.
You know, when we talk about it, it's like everybody's got a colon. It impacts men and women equally. It's the #1 cancer killer for those under 50. That was recently reported by the American Cancer Society. But it's also the #1 cancer that is preventable. And so if you're 45 and older, if you have signs and symptoms, we say talk to your doctor, get screened, figure it out, because it's highly curable, highly preventable if caught early.
Fight Colorectal Cancer will actually be holding a rally out here on the mall at 5 o'clock tonight when all of these flags are put up, which I'm told they'll be out here doing this, putting up the flags until 3 o'clock. And then later this week, Fight Colorectal Cancer will be on Capitol Hill. They'll have about 250 survivors and loved ones out talking with lawmakers about the importance of generating awareness about colorectal cancer. And after I finished my last live hit, Adam, the CEO was very, very happy that you shared that you just had your first screening, because that is the type of awareness they want to generate. Yeah, to get people talking about it, to really, really, get people on the prevention side and not the death side.
Yeah, happy
Back
to
to
report that, everything was good with mine as well. And it's really not that bad. You hear people say, it's a tough process. You can't eat for a day, but it's all in all, you got to get it done. So a good cause there for
Absolutely.
sure. Jessica, thank you so much. Jessica Alpert, live on the National Mall for us this morning, where it's sunny.
Yeah, it is sunny.
It's sunny.
You see people still have coats on because the temperature is different from yesterday.
Yeah.
A bit colder, Lauren.
Yeah. Little chilly out there. I mean, compared to
thanks for that. I want a repeat of yesterday, please.
I know.
Come on.
Wait until next weekend.
Okay.
Wait until next weekend. If you liked yesterday, we're going to be about 10 degrees warmer next weekend. But yeah, we've got some sunshine out there. All in all, not a bad day. Temperatures are in the 40s right now, right around that 50-degree mark in some spots, really depending on where you are. We made it up to 51 here in Washington. Now, we still have that northeast wind. It's going to be anywhere from about 10 to 20 miles an hour, so a little breezy. This is about as far as we're going to get, and then we'll start to drop as we continue into the afternoon. Most temperatures are going to stay in the 40s today, and you can see that from our map right now. I said earlier, a little south and east, you may come up a little bit. Frontal system working its way through the area without much fanfare. There could be a few sprinkles, but for the most part, we're just looking at temperatures in the 40s to right around 50 degrees. And again, dropping into the 20s by the time we continue into the nighttime. Sun goes down at 6 o'clock. First day yesterday was the sun setting after 6, and we haven't had a sunset from 6 and beyond since November 7th of last year. So days are getting just a little bit longer. Next weekend, daylight saving time. So remember that, and I'll keep reminding you. More news right after this.
You're watching News 4 Today.
Welcome back. So many of us feeling the pinch from the rising cost of groceries, but now in Northern Virginia, shoppers have a new option to search for deals. This place is called Grocery Outlets.
And News 4's Darcy Spencer reports the chain promises some deep discounts on food.
Let's go do some shopping.
Grocery Outlet is the newest food store in Northern Virginia. The bargain market just opened in Falls Church.
Congratulations on the opening.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We're excited to be here.
Prince Wafa is the owner of the store. He's a former interpreter for the U.S. military in Afghanistan. He says he's excited to be in the community.
Thanks to the community, they showed up like a large amount of people on the opening day. We were surprised.
And shoppers may be a little surprised, too, at some of the discounts at the store.
If you're looking for a hot deal and you're in the mood for a Culture Pop Soda Watermelon Lime Probiotic Soda, you can pick one up for 50 cents.
Wafa says those discounts range from 40 to 70% off other store prices, depending on the item.
Here we have the chicken breast, $1.49 a pound.
And with food budgets as tight as they are for some, that could sound pretty good.
Well, everyone knows that prices are like pretty substantial right now. You can easily spend $100 on almost nothing. So
get one bag, right?
Yeah, one bag. So I'm just here trying to see what they have.
They have everything you'll find in other stores, from produce to meats to frozen foods, even beer and wine.
$3.99 for a bottle of wine?
It's cheaper than water, right?
Wafa says Grocery Outlet buyers work around the clock to purchase in bulk to stock the shelves. mostly with national brands, and there's some overstock too.
So you sell these coconuts.
Yeah, so
Do you have any way of opening it?
Some of the items may be closer to the expiration date. It's all about the deal.
especially if you see a wow sign next to it, or if you see like, hot deals, those are the stuff you want to grab in because they may not be there tomorrow.
While the staples will always be here, the special deals, like a big box of cereal for $2.99, won't stick around for very long. Wafa says he's also speaking to customers about what they would like to see in the store. And if you have any questions,
If there's anything, you don't have to look for a 1-800 number. I'm always in the store. You can find me.
You live here.
I live here.
Darcy Spencer, News 4.
Well, that's definitely a needed option for folks to get some discounts.
Yeah,
on
have to
groceries.
check it out. I live right down the street from there.
Okay.
So there you go.
You gotta let us know. Well, coming up here on News 4 today, we continue our coverage on the tension in the Middle East.
Yeah, we just got some updated information, and we're going to talk with Meet the Press moderator Kristen Welker about the fast developing situation in Iran. You can hear from her and what she has coming up on her show. That's coming up after the break.
All right, welcome back at 10:15 on this Sunday morning. Beautiful weather yesterday.
It's awesome.
Yeah, 63 degrees.
Bring it on again.
Yeah, it's maybe, so Wednesday will be in the 60s, and then we skyrocket into the 70s after that.
That's great.
For the extended period, too.
This winter has been rough.
It's been hard.
It has been
interesting.
so brutal.
There's still snow on the ground.
I know.
The dirty piles of snow.
Dirty piles of
Yes.
snow. I like when the snow continues to stay on the ground after a big snow, but then once it gets dirty, I'm like, all right, let's go. Let's get rid of this. I think maybe by this weekend, that's when we'll start to see, not this weekend, following weekend. That's really when we'll see some melting because we're going to have several 70-degree days kind of strung together. It's beautiful out there right now. Temperatures in the 40s to lower 50s, really depending on where you are. We do have a little bit of a breeze out of the north and northeast at about 10 miles an hour. You can expect that today, 10 to 20 miles an hour. What else you can expect? Wintry weather tomorrow and Tuesday morning. Then we start the warm-up on Wednesday. Now, we will have some daily chances, small, albeit daily chances of rain Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Now, current temperatures a little warmer down to the south. Look at you in Fredericksburg coming in at 55, Culpeper at 54. D.C., we made it over to 51, but mostly 40s out there. Frontal system passed through the area. Now we're going to continue to see temperatures in the 40s to right around 50, and then we'll start to drop off as we go through the mid-afternoon. Sun going down now after 6 o'clock, 6:01. So we'll have some clouds, maybe some sun, even maybe a few sprinkles out there, but for the most part, not a bad-looking day. Now, tomorrow, things change. Look at this. We're not making it out of the 30s tomorrow. We'll see some snow showers in the afternoon, and then overnight into Tuesday, a little bit of a mix. So let me roll this through for you. A few little clouds trying to make their way through. So we'll go with mostly to partly sunny out there today. And then as we continue into tomorrow afternoon, look at that. Not everybody going to see snow showers. And the ground is so warm, I'm not expecting it to gather on the ground or any evening commute problems. But again, a few snow showers coming down tomorrow. And then we get into Tuesday morning. A little bit of a mix. That'll happen on Tuesday morning, especially north and west of D.C., and that'll quickly turn to rain on Tuesday. So again, Tuesday and Wednesday we'll have some rain. This is where you could see a little bit of freezing rain. We could have some issues at the higher elevations, but for the most part, I think the commute looks good. Tuesday morning, again, isolated slick spots. After Wednesday, look at those temperatures. 70s. So it is going to be incredibly nice for the extended period.
All right, Lauren, thank you very much. It is 10:18, and we want to get back to the big story that's been developing the last couple of days. The U.S. and Israel launching airstrikes targeting Iran's missile and nuclear programs and senior leadership.
And we are just learning that 3 U.S. service members have been killed in the military operation. Joining us now is Kristen Welker, moderator of Meet the Press.
Yeah, Kristen, you got a chance to speak with President Trump following the strikes. He's down in Florida. What were you expecting to hear from him, and what did you hear?
Well, look, it was a 3-minute conversation, Adam and Juliana. We should note it took place on Saturday. So before we had this new information that 3 U.S. service members were killed, his big takeaway was to reveal for the first time that the Supreme Leader had in fact been killed. And he said most leadership had been killed as well. I'll read you a little part of what he said. He said, tremendous damage has been inflicted. The people that make all the decisions, most of them are gone. What he couldn't answer, what are the next steps? Who's going to take over the leadership? I had the opportunity to interview Senator Lindsey Graham, one of the president's top allies, and I asked him, who will replace the leadership in Iran? Will it be the Iranians? Will it be the Americans? He said this is going to be squarely up to Iran. But how do you do it without putting U.S. boots on the ground? He says it's possible. Senator Mark Kelly, my other guest, says it is not possible. And then Congressman Ro Khanna demanding that Congress have a vote and a final say. Adam and Juliana.
Okay, so you shared a little bit there about what Graham and Mark Kelly are talking about, but how is this landing with members of Congress? And are there concerns of a wider war?
There absolutely are. I think that's one of the chief concerns. Congressman Khanna arguing this goes against everything the president stood for and ran against when he promised to get out of foreign wars, when he promised there wouldn't be regime change. Now that's in fact what is happening, and it's part of why Congressman Khanna is demanding that there be a vote in the House. I pressed him on this. Is it necessary to have a vote now that the strikes are already underway? He said it's never been more important, that now, in fact, is the time to act. But Adam and Juliana, the central question, does he have the votes to pass this? Doesn't seem like he does right now. He thinks, though, there could be momentum for this because the bombs have already started to drop. The bottom line and the biggest takeaway, there are still so many unknowns. This is so volatile. And the fact that we have this tragic news that 3 U.S. service members have now been killed underscores the fact that this is a volatile situation that is changing by the minute, Adam and Juliana.
Yeah, and that information literally just coming into the newsroom, and we're all just learning about it together. So, like you mentioned, Kristen, still so many questions. All right, we're going to look forward to the show in just about 10 minutes. Thanks for your insight.
Thank you.
And a reminder, you can watch Kristen and her guests coming up on Meet the Press. It starts at 10:30, just about 10 minutes from now, right here on News 4 Today. A lot of big questions. As for us, we'll be right back.